What's up, y'all? Welcome into the warm-up show here on Grind City Media. We call it the warm-up show because the players warm up while we do it, and Steph Curry is literally right behind us right now warming up.
Yeah, I mean, that's wild. That's only one of the 10 best players to ever play basketball.
Maybe the greatest shooter of all time.
Yeah.
They're all here right now, and Steph Curry's behind us getting some shots up as the Grizzlies get ready to take on the Golden State Warriors. It's a big game tonight for both of these teams. The Grizzlies need a win. Desperate? Is that the right word for this?
I think that
it's pretty important.
Whatever is beyond desperate, that's the word. I don't know what that word is, but yeah.
Grizzlies are 2-7 in their last 9, have lost 3 in a row. Grizzlies coming in off that 117-103 loss last night to the Boston Celtics. By the way, I just realized this is John Roser. I'm laying Whitaker. I forgot. We didn't even get to that. Yeah, whatever. Ja had 26, 5-5 last night, 6-5. Jaren had 20. Grizzlies kind of stayed in that game against the Celtics for most of the game. Had a better start than they've had in previous games. Had a worse finish than you want to have.
Yeah, I think kind of the same issues that you look at with the Lakers and the Celtics games. They were in the games, got down early in the Lakers game, down 20, battled all the way back, had chances, and then your defense just couldn't really stay together in the fourth quarter. And I think the same thing kind of happened last night. It's you know, the slippage on the defensive end has been a big thing for the Grizzlies in the second half of the season post All-Star break, and I think it was a big thing in the fourth quarter of both of those games too.
Yeah, the Warriors won 2 in a row. Before that, they lost 2 in a row. They scored 148 points in their last game. It was against San Antonio, so take that with a grain of salt. But the Warriors are 2-1 this season against the Grizzlies. So I thought, I was trying to think of, like, what are our 3 topics we're going to go with tonight. Number one thing is we got to get right. The Grizzlies got to get back on track.
Yep.
I don't know how that happens, but they got to get right and get things figured out and start playing the way that they played for the first half of the season. And since All-Star, it's been really tough to find that. I know the Grizzlies are, 11-22 against teams that are over 500 this season. But this is a game that against a team that you've competed against. You've had a game where you beat this team, the Warriors team. This is a game the Grizzlies have to win, and how do they get back to the way they played earlier this year?
Man, they feel so out of sync. You know, it's just a team that feels so out of sync, and it's so crazy to think, wait, where did this all go wrong? Because we were the 2 seed for so much of the season, so where did this all start to go wrong? And I don't really know exactly where it was, but they're very out of sync. And I think you've got to try to find some cohesion. The communication and the effort level, and you've got to develop that trust on the defensive end of the floor. And, you know, I think a big part is also keeping your big man, Jaren Jackson Jr., on the court as well, and keeping him out of foul trouble. But, no, I think your stars have got to be stars tonight.
Also, like, I've noticed Coach Tuomo Sisalo has been the interim coach now for 2 games, so it's not a big sample size. But it does seem like they've done a little bit better job defensively against the Lakers, against the Celtics, 2 teams that are going to shoot a lot of shots. Not leaving guys wide open for these shots. He mentioned tonight in the pregame that they had a 36%, by their own metrics, 36% expected field goal percentage on threes, which based on the looks they got, how open they were, etc. I've never heard a coach mention this before, so it's kind of cool. He said that they had a 36% effective or expected field goal percentage, and they were 25% on those threes. So, you know, some of it's bad luck. He also quoted Steve Clifford, who he said one time, like, what's the best way to stop a team in the second half? And it's like, you got to get lucky sometimes and hope a team doesn't make shots. I feel like some of this has just been the Grizzlies haven't been able to sustain those runs where kind of things go their way. It feels like a lot of times things are not going their way in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, and that's, I think they're probably wondering the same thing. Why are things not going their way? Like we just talked about, like I said, it's like, where did this all start to kind of go the wrong way? And it's really tough to pinpoint it. Now we can go and say post All-Star break, but, like, clearly some of it had to have started before that. And it's difficult. It's difficult to remember. Like, you look at it, it's like, yeah, they did. They got open shots. You feel like they should make those shots, but for some reason against these better teams, they don't make them. And let's hope it changes tonight.
One of the reasons the Grizzlies haven't made as many open shots lately is that Luke Kennard hasn't been taking as many open shots. Luke Kennard has been one of the best shooters for the Grizzlies since he got here a couple years ago. He's taken 1 shot in the last 2 games, and it wasn't a 3-pointer. It was a layup that didn't go in. He's played one shot attempt, 1 point in the last 2 games. Came into this stretch averaging 7-8 shots a game. After the game last night, Luke Kennard talked about what's been kind of keeping him from getting on track.
Something that defenses are throwing at you, or just not doing your looks?
No, nothing the defense is really doing. I just got to be more aggressive.
How does the locker room put the pieces together when there's frustration the way that there's been this I guess, magnitude or this amount over the second half of the season?
Yeah, I mean, we got a close group. Everybody's together. We talk to each other a lot. And yeah, I mean, nobody points fingers or anything like that. We do have a close locker room. Chemistry really good. And, you know, we're in this thing together. We always say that. It's everybody's a part of this. And yeah, just one day at a time.
How urgent does tomorrow night feel, just given where you guys are in proximity in the standings?
Yeah, no, it's huge. I mean, it's a big game. We got to go get one for sure, and I know everybody's going to be looking forward to it.
Is it something you guys are?
Well, I couldn't hear what he said, but
it's loud in here.
It's loud.
No, I heard this clip. I got to hear this last night. We played it on my radio post-game show. You know, basically he sounds like a guy who sounds like a lot of the players. They're very frustrated. They're trying to figure things out. Why is this happening? But, you know, and then you hit the cliches of we're together, we're in this together, we're going to figure this out together, or we're not going to figure it out together. But either way, it's going to be together. A lot of togethers.
Together.
Yes.
Together
forever.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I hope they figure it out, because it's frustrating as a fan also to watch this and be like, what happened to, like, kind of the joy of this Grizzlies team?
We all remember these guys having so much fun. Look, it was fun when we last played them here. We beat them by 51. So,
that's right.
You know, maybe we get
whoop that trick.
Yeah, right. Play whoop that trick. I don't know if we're going to win by 51, but I mean,
sure
we
the
can have some
Warriors
fun
remember
tonight.
that. Yeah,
I'm sure they do too.
Draymond Green was actually a topic of conversation in Coach Isalo's pregame press conference.
When isn't he a topic of conversation?
Well, he actually compared Draymond Green. I mean, Coach Isalo compared Draymond Green to Italian midfielder Paolo Maldini, who is like a defensive specialist for the Italian national team. Yeah. And played for, I think, Milan or Roma for a long time. And he said, like, people ask, like, why doesn't he make as many tackles as everyone else? And he said, because he's ahead of the game, and he gets to the point where he doesn't have to make tackles. And he said that was the same thing with Draymond. I just thought it was amazing. We had a coach compare a guy to an Italian midfielder from the 2000s. Like, how often do you see that?
No, you don't. Usually, you know, comparisons are to other players in that same sport. But no, that's refreshing. We're probably going to get a tutorial in soccer and in the history of soccer with Coach Islo.
Yeah. What we got going on? We got Curry shooting crazy shots.
Yeah, it's just a lot of noise, a lot of people. He's right behind us, getting some shots. I can see him back there. The other thing I thought we could talk about today, Brandon Clark, we got word that he doesn't have to have surgery, which hopefully it responds to the treatment, because we saw Steven Adams do the same thing and did not respond to the treatment. But Grizzlies said that they put out, they unanimously decided he doesn't need to have surgery and he should be fine for the start of next season, which is great.
No, it's great. It's good to know. There's a little PTSD from Grizzlies fans because Steven Adams, a similar injury. They say that this is not nearly as serious as Steven Adams' PCL injury was. So let's hope Brandon has a speedy recovery. That's an underrated thing they're missing right here.
Yes,
you go to that game last night. Yes. The first time that they played Boston in Boston, and they beat them this year, Brandon was 9 for 11, 18 points in that game. They miss Brandon Clark.
They're trying to find a replacement. Like you saw the first game, Lamar Stevens was the first guy off the bench. And then last night, Lamar Stevens didn't play because he was trying to find another way to kind of compensate for Brandon Clark being out. There's a couple of injuries tonight. Last I heard, Vince Williams is still questionable with an illness. John Konchar's out with an illness. Brandon Clark's out, Zion Pullen's out, Yuki Kawamuri's out. Vince was a late addition. We haven't gotten an update on him yet. For the Warriors, Jonathan Kuminga is day-to-day. I don't know if he's in or not. And Gary Payton II is out with a thumb injury. I did see him working out underneath the stands earlier. Looked like he was in good shape, but I guess he's just waiting on that thumb to get better. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we get back, Jessica Benson's going to join us. You're watching the warm-up show here on Grind City Media.
coached a lot of different versions of the SEC, and obviously there's never been one deeper than this. What's it like been coaching in this?
The reason for the league being so good is the commitment to coaching, commitment to facilities, commitment to the NIL across the board. There is not anybody in our league that's not investing in all those things.
The Gary Parrish Show, live on weekdays at 10 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
We touched on this earlier, the panel here, about what really has been the mainstay of the Grizzlies, and that's Jaren Jackson Jr. Trip has just been awesome.
He's posting guys up. He's stronger than he's ever been. He's physical, and he's scoring all type of ways.
Hey, Grizzlies fans, be sure to tune in to Grizzbeat, where the panel and I break down all things Grizzlies and take a look at the rest of the NBA as well. The show is live every Wednesday, 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
We had big classic news from the Southern Heritage Classic last week when it was announced Arkansas Pine Bluff and Alcorn State will be the two Classic participants.
Being a part of the Classic is a big deal. It's the third year for UAPB and the first year for Alcorn. So I'm just glad we were able to get it done.
Get all of your HBCU sports and culture news by tuning in to HBCU Huddle with CJ Hurt and Mike Wallace. New episodes drop every Thursday on grindcitymedia.com, YouTube, and Spotify.
It's time! Get it down!
Bain drives.
Oh yeah.
Close. He hits and the Grizzlies have the lead.
Yeah!
Jaren with a knockaway.
Good defense!
Morant attacking, spinning, hanging, and hitting.
That's no show! Let's go!
They say main event Jey Uso was going to open the show. So they said they're starting to hear rumbles around the plaza level of Jey Uso. They're getting the crowd together to build up the main event Jey Uso entrance. Hey, 15,000 people together yeeting in unison, 5-star. They are yeeting together.
Tune in to Grind City Wrestling weekly on the Grind City Media app and on the Grind City Media YouTube channel.
What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the warm-up show here on Grind City Media. Also tonight on WMC 5 across Tennessee. Appreciate you sitting in with us. I'm Whitaker. This is Jessica Benson. We haven't talked in a long time.
It's been so long.
I know. We haven't had a Grizzlies game. I missed you on your show. I was gone.
I was gone. We've all been gone. But we're back.
But we're back. We're back, and we got to figure out how to turn this season around with only a couple weeks left. So give us tonight's main character.
Every game is a big game from here on out. This one always feels a little bit bigger. There's a lot of Steph Curry fans in this building right now who just went off because I think Steph just made a three behind us, perhaps. Okay. Or did John Morant just run on the court? I don't know. Those are your two big stars, right?
Yeah.
So like it would make sense for them to be the main characters. Battle between 5 and 6, battle between two of the most electric, exciting shows in the NBA. But I'm going to go with the others. I'm going to say the others are the main character tonight because you have a matchup featuring the two best scoring benches in the NBA. And as of late, it feels as if the contributions of players outside of Ja, Jaren, and Dez have been a little more erratic in nature. And so when you go up against a Warriors team that has that kind of depth where they have a variety of guys who can go up, you have to match that. So this could be a big night for Santi Aldama. Perhaps Luke Kennard after having 2 straight games where he just took one shot in nearly 40 minutes of action. I know I live with a Warriors fan, former WMC Action News 5 reporter Christopher Luther, but he was telling me Warriors Twitter, there's a little nerves. They've seen Luke Kennard's stats over the last 2 games and they say, oh no, this could be the guy who has a big performance. So I would love to see that from either of those. Scottie Pippen Jr., after being so consistent, had a bit of a fall off the other night or last night against the Celtics, but there just has to be more contributions across the board.
We're only 2 games into it, but what have you made so far of the Tuomas Isalo experience?
I just had the opportunity to do the pregame interview with him on the radio. Eric Hasseltine, radio voice of the Memphis Grizzlies, was stuck in traffic, so I stepped in and was able to talk to Coach Isalo, and he's so measured. He's a joy to speak with, and it's an odd situation to have been on the staff to be elevated into this role, and I think he's finding his footing. But one thing that I think goes overlooked, he's been a head coach before, so there there is a comfort level that perhaps somebody else who's been an assistant and has never been in the big chair before hasn't experienced. But with him, he's working with what he's got, right? Like this roster didn't change, the makeup of this team, the tone of this team didn't change, and trying to make little by little increases. He's very focused on the details, being on the second night of a back-to-back. How do you keep that energy up? And this will be yet another big test. It's his third game. He really was baptized by fire going Lakers, Celtics, Warriors, but we'll see if he gets one tonight.
He did say he's very pragmatic. That was his word. Yeah, it's a great word. All right, Jess, you can catch Jessica on the 92.9 tonight with Eric Hasselstein, who did make it.
Yes, he is here.
Elliot Perry will be here, Ben Abdullah's here, and we'll hear you in a second. We're going to now check out this clip of Coach Isalo talking about Slam Magazine. Thomas, last night you mentioned, sort of in passing, Slam as being a big influence on you. We're having Slam night tonight. So I was just wondering, like, exactly how did Slam influence you growing up in Finland?
Well, I was actually a subscriber, so for a long time, and I read a lot of the articles. That was part why I learned to speak relatively good English for Finnish standards at an early age, and learned the slang from those magazines. And it was a generational experience and something that was.
Welcome back to the warm-up show here on Grind City Media. Lang Whitaker alongside Adam Figman, CEO of Slam.
Hi, Lang.
Who I used to work with a long time ago. I was a editor at Slam a long time. It's Slam night tonight. Jaren Jackson's on the current cover of Slam. I wrote the story. Adam kind of made it all happen.
I didn't do anything.
Why does Jaren get a Slam cover?
Lang, why does Jaren get a Slam cover? I think that's a question that I would have for you, but I appreciate you asking it to me.
You're the guy who made the call.
He's having an amazing season.
Yeah.
He's an All-NBA candidate.
Yeah.
He's a Defensive Player of the Year candidate.
Yeah.
He's moving the culture of Memphis basketball forward. And Slam has a long-time amazing relationship with the Grizzlies, so I think it just made sense to bring it all together.
What is this Slam night tonight? I know you guys started doing that around the league this year with other teams too. In Houston, they had one. There's some other teams. How did this come about, and what is sort of the point of them, I guess?
Yeah, it started, we were activating with the Brooklyn Nets around our 30th year anniversary, and it was pretty organic. It was, it just sort of snowballed from let's do a merch collection together, or let's have a fun activation at the game in some way, into being bigger and better, and then it became a Slam night. And then we realized we could sort of spread it across the league by adding value to the fan experience and doing fun merch stuff and doing covers, and there's stuff around the arena. It's, people love the Slam brand, and for a long time it was a magazine, and now we can activate in more ways than just a magazine. We can do events and video content and apparel, obviously. So there's all sorts of things we can do. So
I was actually looking over your shoulder because Draymond's warming up behind us, and I was just making sure we weren't going to get attacked or something.
All these cameras aren't pointed at us?
No. It's just right over us. There is a ton of people here wearing Slam stuff tonight. It's pretty cool to see. And as someone who's spent a large time of my life at Slam, it's been a wild run the last couple of years, don't you think? Like, Slam gets in the Hall of Fame. Slam has a 30th anniversary. All this stuff is kind of happening. It's been kind of amazing to see for me. I don't know, how does it feel being in the middle of it?
It's a lot of fun. I mean, the reality is it never happens if it's not for you and a bunch of other people who laid the groundwork for an amazing brand. And then the past few years, as digital media became a huge way that people consume content, and we were able to sort of spread the brand on social media in all these fun ways. We have league fits for NBA fashion, and we have Slam and W Slam and Slam Kicks, and we're huge in the high school space with Slam High School. We have the Slam Summer Classic, which is an All-American game every year. We just have all these fun extensions of the brand, and then by some crazy coincidence, it was our 30th year anniversary last year. We did a lot of fun sneaker stuff, and then Slam and the founder Dennis Page are in the Hall of Fame, and it's just an amazing time for the brand.
I'd say shout out also you, because for a long time Slam was a print magazine, and now it's figured out unlike a lot of other print magazines, how to translate to the digital space. So it's been cool to see that happen.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. Well, so thanks for coming down to Memphis. You've been here a lot lately. It seems
I love Memphis.
Yeah. Well, we
Slam loves Memphis.
Yeah, I know. It's been a good relationship. Go get the new issue of Slam. Jaren Jackson Jr. on the cover. Go get the merch, slamgoods.com, slamonline.com. And we're going to take one break. We'll come right back. You're watching the warm-up show here on Grind City Media.
Offensive guy, so you could speak to this. It's way worse when you're getting doubled, right?
You got triple. I had went through that for when I was in Portland. You had me on the team. You got triple. You hear me, Rose? You can't talk about double. You got to talk about triple. You got triple team.
This man was scoring on 3 dudes.
Swing, TA.
The Chris Vernon Show, live on weekdays at noon on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Debo traded from San Francisco to the Commanders for a 5th-round pick. There's no other sport where you would get a player of his ilk for a 5th-round pick.
Over under total yards for Debo. If they set it at 1,000, you think he hits that over?
Total yards?
Total yards from scrimmage. Total yards.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
The Odds Couple, live at 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Would you mind standing in front so everybody could get a good glimpse of this? This can't be the look of the season. This is not the look of the season, Jessica. Like.
Tune in to the Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hurt, live every weekday at 8 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Welcome back to the warm-up show live here on Grind City Media. Also across Tennessee tonight on WMC 5.
Yes.
We're on tonight. That's John Roser. I'm
Hello, Channel 5. Shout out to y'all, WMC.
We all love WMC. We're going to go through a couple stories around the league like we always do at this time to get you ready for this game. Starts in 6.5 minutes, Grizzlies and the Warriors. First of all, the Pistons and the Wolves threw hands the other night. We haven't seen an NBA fight like that in a long time. Celtics coach Joe Mazzulla lately, said that he thinks there should be more fights. We got one.
We got one.
This was a big one. And today we got the punishments that came down from this. Isaiah Stewart got 2 games. Everyone else got 1 game. What did you think those punishments were about? What they get? I kind of thought there might be more.
I'm going to hit you with, I'm going to be rules guy here.
All right.
They should all be done for the season.
Wow.
Playoffs included. You cannot spill into the crowd.
That's what I thought.
You cannot spill into the crowd. Like, that's automatic.
Yeah.
You're done for the year.
Yeah,
you cannot do that in the crowd. You can't.
Especially the Pistons have a history of not doing that. They should know not to do that.
Yeah, right. Like, you cannot spill over into the crowd. Like, that's an automatic. You're done for the year.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't care if it's game 1 or game 81.
Yeah.
Just can't do it.
I agree. I thought the punishment would be a little harsher than that. Operation Shutdown.
In the words of Bane, your punishment must be more severe.
I like the British accent. Operation Shutdown has been going around the NBA slowly. Now it's moved to New Orleans, where we got word Zion Williamson and C.J. McCollum are out for the season. Not surprising. Who else? What other teams are going to be the next to go into Operation Shutdown?
So the Zion thing, this is the 4th time in 6 years he's played 30 games or fewer. It's crazy. The Jazz got ahead of this, and they went into shutdown mode like 40 games ago.
Like 2 seasons ago.
Yeah, really. Yeah. The next team to do it?
I got one for you. Portland.
They could.
I mean, they're already like.
But
just
I
not
feel
very
like
good.
they like to fight. San Antonio's already done it. They've kind of gone into
because Wimby got hurt.
Yeah,
Like,
and so Fox now done for the year too. Like they have done it. I mean, there's so many teams in the East you think would have done it, but like they're eligible for the play-in.
Like
so.
the Hawks don't have a draft pick. They don't have their own draft pick.
It goes to San Antonio.
So they want to just try to win whatever they can.
Right.
The Magic, they were kind of in the bottom.
They're
Maybe
at the 8 right now. Like they're not that kind of team.
Only teams behind these guys are Utah, Washington, and Charlotte.
You would have thought the Bulls, but the Bulls like love to play.
Now.
They love the play-in, and they're playing well.
They're playing great.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Last one, Dylan Harper from Rutgers declares for the NBA draft. Son of Ron Harper.
Yeah.
Cooper Flagg's been the guy everyone's talking about. Harper kind of seems like a consensus, maybe number 2 pick.
Yeah.
Who else do you think? We've been watching the NCAA tournament, watching all these guys play. Give me a name of somebody else you would want to see.
I like
in the draft.
Kasparas Yakuchonis, 6'6" guard out of Illinois. Shout out to Luke. Thanks for that. Thanks for that. Our GCM social media man.
Yeah.
No, I mean I do like Cooper Flagg's teammate, Con Knipple. I do like him. We're trying not to laugh, but like
I know what you mean.
Yeah, I like Con Knipple. The kid at Baylor is a freak athlete.
Yeah. What about the Houston guys, like Cryer or one of those guys?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like they're tough, but like I don't know how they translate to the NBA. I'm interested. The kid from Florida is great. I'm also interested in Lanier from Tennessee.
Yeah,
Chaz Lanier.
Great scorer.
Yeah, kid can score the ball. Jump shot looks great. There was a kid at Kentucky, Jackson Robinson, who I like, but I don't know where he is on mock draft.
There's a kid who's like from Georgia, Asa Newell, who's going to be like a top 15 pick, who played with Cooper Flagg in high school, and like now had a season on his own and is going to be a high pick too. So draft's coming up sooner than you think.
Late June.
Yeah.
We're almost there. Yeah, a couple months.
I bet we'll see a couple more people declare for the draft too. Ace Bailey is the other guy who played with Dylan Harper at Rutgers. That getting a lot of hype right now. All right, we got about 2 minutes before we get out of here. Grizzlies getting set to take on the Golden State Warriors. A huge game for the Grizzlies. Need a win tonight. Game 3 under interim coach Tuomas Isalo. And the Grizzlies got to find a way to kind of get some momentum and energy and keep that going for the whole game. Give me one matchup you want to see tonight or keep an eye on tonight.
Jaren Jackson Jr., Draymond Green, because I've seen this with Jaren Jackson Jr. a couple of times. I've seen Luka bait him into fouls. I've seen LeBron James bait Jaren into fouls. And Draymond Green is going to try to do the exact same thing. And the Lakers did it the other night because they know you take out Jaren, you get him in foul trouble, get him out of the game, and it changes everything for this team. The Grizzlies have to keep him on the court, and Draymond is going to be a guy. He is going to try to bait him into fouls, and especially early foul trouble. And Jaren needs to stay out of that, and let's see how they respond.
Especially with Brandon Clark out.
Yes, it's more important
Coach
than
Isalo
ever.
said something the other day about how front court rotations are totally different now without Brandon Clark. All right, we got about 40-something seconds to get you out of here. So flip over right now to, if you're on WMC, stay there. If you're not on there, you can either go there and watch this game. You can turn over to FanDuel Sports Network. You can flip over to ESPN 92.9 to catch tonight's game, Grizzlies and the Warriors. Huge game. He's John Roser. I'm Lang Whitaker. We appreciate you joining us tonight on the warm-up show, and we'll see you again in like a week when the Grizzlies are back in town.